An anecdote from class 8 about one of our English teachers. While she taught everything super well, what her students will never forget are her grammar classes. A batchmate, herself now an English teacher in London, once told me, "Janish, English teachers, meaning someone schooled in England, আমার কাছে গ্রামার জানতে আসে আর আমি তখন তাদের সিডি যা পড়িয়েছিলেন সেটাই বলি." When we started a new class, we would be primed by seniors about any new teacher we will face. The strictest, scariest teacher with eyes at the back of her head, who could name the softest whisperer, we were told. A statuesque beauty, Mrs. Chondo. She was still Miss Dotto then. I never liked grammar. Once we were asked to fill in the blanks with prepositions. It was not a test, so when we finished, we had to go up to her and get it corrected. I had no idea what a preposition was. Flying blind, somehow I idiomatically managed to get all of them except for one. She put a cross next to it and told me this is not a preposition. I redid it and went back. It still wasn't a preposition. I desperately eyed the clock, whose hands seemed to have stopped. How much time could I spend dragging my feet to my desk, rewriting just one sentence, and then walking as slowly as I dared back to her? At each attempt, I quaked at the thought of the famed CD rack. Most surprisingly, it never came. I could hear the mountain amazement in her voice as she kept asking, "Is this a preposition?" But she never gave up on me. Instead, she repeatedly gave me the benefit of the doubt. I wonder now, was she really that scary? Or was it just a myth that fed itself and grew? Maybe she was very soft-hearted, engrossed in her students, never giving up on any of us. Another memory. It was 1975. We were in class 10 by then, and now she was teaching us literature. Like grammar, her approach to literature was distinctive. She would start with an introduction to the author for a deeper understanding of the piece. Then would come explanations and analysis of the actual text in a style totally her own. Quoting herself, "Classroom teaching had always been my passion. Literature পড়াতে ভালো লাগতো কারণ সাহিত্য রস রয়েছে, মন ছুঁয়ে যাওয়ার ব্যাপার আছে। A mature reader নিজের interpretation দিতে পারে." Unquote. And now, quoting an alumnus, she was very precise in her diction, measured in her approach, and taught with confidence and care. Unquote. There were a couple of sinks in the corridor opposite our classroom. She had just rejoined after her marriage, and I think this was her first class as Mrs. Chondo. At first it was one or two, which soon became a trickle, and then a stream of girls kept walking up to the sinks to drink water. Undoubtedly, this sudden thirst was on account of her. Unfortunately, teenagers are prone to giggling, so they made quite a bit of noise as well. At last, thoroughly exasperated, she walked out and gave everyone a big scolding. On hindsight, it all seems very normal. The girls acted their age, And so did she. She too was young and must have felt embarrassed enough. However, I would love to ask her, would today's Mrs. Chondo have reacted in the same way? I consider myself extremely lucky to have spent my entire school life in Gokhale from KG1 to class 12. The atmosphere, the regulations, students and staff members all were excellent. So although this story is centered around one teacher, the huge debt is owed to all. Once asked, she said, "I always wanted to teach and I loved English literature. Gokhaleর খুব নাম ছিল, so I was very happy to get the job. মেয়েরা খুব well behaved আর খুব receptive ছিল. আমি ভাবতাম কি দেব, but they seemed to like my teaching." Mrs. Madhuri Chaudhary once said যে আমার pronunciation শুনে সবাই খুব খুশি হতো. In addition to her teaching and her pronunciation, the girls admired something else about her. Mrs. Bhattacharya taught English. Besides being a superb teacher, she was also very pretty. A batchmate recently posted on social media, "Ake beauty, তার উপর খুব সুন্দর সাজতেন, ম্যাচিং বিডস and all." ক্লাসে যত না পড়া শুনতাম তার চেয়ে বেশি হাঁ করে ওনাকেই দেখতাম। I too was very fond of her and exchanged Christmas cards and the occasional letter. I really loved school and leaving was heartbreaking. But once college started, it was as if another magic kingdom had opened up. I'm ashamed to say I never dropped in at school again till almost 22 years later when a group of us went for Anandamala. We met a few teachers from our times. Mrs. Bhattacharya was there, surrounded by many students, including those from our batch. As I walked up, I heard someone say, "Eje Devjani." That she had identified the batch was nice enough. To be remembered personally was gratifying. চেহারা চেনার কোনো চান্স ছিল না, তাও আমাকে দেখে বলে উঠলেন, "দেবজানি, কতদিন পর, তোমার তো কোনো খবরই নেই, স্কুলেও আসো না কখনো." And then she suddenly said, "মনে আছে কার্ড পাঠাতে, চিঠি লিখতে, আমি সব তুলে রেখেছি." I was so moved. I had walked away, never looked back, enjoyed life to the brim. Our teachers had given the best years of their lives to make that possible. Yet, I had never once visited, let alone said thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for my gross negligence, ask them for forgiveness, and express my deepest gratitude to all our teachers who may view this, also those who won't, and even those who are no more. May we never forget, you made us what we are.